This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Welcome to This Is a Place podcast. My name is Nate, and with me, as always, is a guy who got hit in the head by a soda can. But luckily, it was a soft drink.
Didn't hurt as bad.
Hey, question for you, Brandon.
Yes.
Which U.S. state has the smallest soft drinks?
I don't know.
Minnesota.
If anyone had any question if we were dads, that's been answered now.
Dad joke.
Dad jokes. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Listen. Dad jokes are soda funny.
Oh, jeez.
And one pickup line for the single folks out there. Your name must be Coca-Cola, right? Because you're Sodalicious.
Oh my goodness. All right. These are all getting
All right, I'm done.
These are all getting chopped out. I'm just kidding.
I am a dad. And my son always says, Dad, stop with the stupid jokes. So
it's okay. They'll appreciate it later.
They will.
Speaking
someday.
of your son, though, I liked what you shared on Facebook about his cool experience selling the Skylanders.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I guess to give everybody out there who's not a friend on Facebook, my son is obsessed with the Skylander video games and has tons of the Skylander characters, which were very expensive, by the way, back in the day. But now they don't exist anymore. At least they don't sell them anymore. But over time, he's accumulated doubles of some items. This week, he's been asking to get the video game Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo Switch. And he asked me how much it cost to get it. And I said, about $50. And he says, well, I have $20 saved up in his little piggy bank thing that he's had for years. I said, well, that's not quite enough. So you'll have to earn some money, like doing chores around the house or something. And we'll see what we can do. And so yesterday, he decided he wanted to sell some of his extra Skylanders, which I was shocked that he'd even want to part ways with some of his Skylanders. And I said, that's a good idea, but maybe we should go to GameStop and see if we can trade them in towards the value of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, okay. And then he left my home office, because we're still in quarantine. And he disappeared, and I went looking for him, and he was outside with his little sister, and he set up a little table in front of our house, like a lemonade stand, and was selling his Skylanders. So I'm like, oh, all right, well, we'll see how it goes with that. And I kind of felt like, oh man, he's going to be disappointed because nobody's going to stop to buy Skylanders. And as I was walking back into the house after checking on him, a car pulls up, and some kid and his girlfriend, or could be even his wife, they were young, says, what are you selling? And he's like, Skylanders. And he's like, how much? And he's like, $5. So the kid kind of quizzed him, said, well, how many can I get for $50? And I thought he was just joking.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told Bronco, hey, Bronco, how many can you get for $50? And do the math. And then figured out 10. So the kid got out of the car with his girlfriend and wife and bought 10 of them for $50. So I was
That's
like,
awesome.
what the? So it was pretty cool. So he got so excited, him and his sister, and they ran back inside, grabbed more duplicate Skylanders, ran back outside. I'm like, great. 20 minutes later, I come back outside to check on him again, and he's nowhere to be found. And my daughter says that he's out selling Skylanders. Like, what does that mean?
Knocking doors?
He went door to door knocking, selling Skylanders, and came back with another $17 worth of Skylanders that he sold. And people that don't know, my son is on the autism spectrum. He's a high-functioning autistic kid, but his communication kind of is a little bit delayed. So I'm just curious. I know he knows a lot of the neighbors, but not all of them. So I'm sure he knocked on neighbors' doors that didn't know him. So I just, it would have been fun to be a fly on the wall to hear his sales pitch, and maybe people gave him money just to go away because they didn't know what to do. Or maybe he was a great salesman and sold them the Skylanders. But yeah.
Then he got his game, right?
Super excited. Yeah, I had to go do some work stuff in the afternoon and told him when I came home that we'd go to Walmart and get his game. And luckily I got home just in time because Walmart closes early now, right? But yeah, this is the first time in a long time he was super excited to see me come home from work. So so he got his game, and I was kind of proud of him for, figuring out a solution to his problem. He wanted something, and he figured out how to get it. So,
I mean, who knows? Maybe the kid that bought the things from your son was interested in it, but it may have been just a goodwill thing. And it's just cool to see these experiences coming out of all the negative stuff that's going around.
Well, I think it's a goodwill thing, but at the same time, because like I said, Skylanders are no longer made in stores, they've almost become a collector's item. So I don't know if Bronco maybe had one that was worth like thousands of dollars, and that's so. But I like to think that I'm pretty sure he did it just out of, because when he drove up and asked so quickly, I'm sure he couldn't see what was on the table. So I'm pretty sure he was doing it out of the goodness of his heart, just trying to help a kid out. So.
Just don't check eBay to see what they're going for.
I know. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking now, because he still wants to go sell more. At least his sister is anxious to do more selling. And so, like, maybe I should hop on. And I looked forever ago, and they almost have, like, the baseball card list of what stuff is valued at now. So he got his game. He's a happy camper right now for the next couple of days. So he'll be busy playing his Smash Brothers.
I might come by and play as well if that's
I'm sure he would love it. Once we're allowed to, right? To go in other people's homes.
Oh, no. Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Soon. I'm going to come soon and play.
Soon enough. So, yeah, that's my story of the week. How about you, Brendan?
Our week was just finding a new show. We watched Waco, one of the newer. It wasn't originally a Netflix content show.
Is it like actors, or was it like a documentary?
Actors, yeah.
Okay. Huh? Is it a series or like a movie?
It's a couple episodes. It's
okay.
It's pretty jarring. So,
were you old enough to remember that?
I don't think so. It was early '90s when it happened.
Yeah. What was his name? The leader?
David Koresh.
Koresh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So if you're having binge withdrawals, you're missing Tiger King, you can go and watch Waco. But be prepared; it's not quite as lighthearted as the Tiger King was.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Tiger King has started to fade off into the sunset, right?
Well, should we tell our listeners what we've kind of alluded to it in our opening, but tell them what we're talking about today?
Yeah, let's do it. What are we talking about today, Brandon?
Hold on. Excuse me. All right. Talking about soda.
Soda. Pop.
Why soda, though? What we decided to do was we took, here in Utah, soda's a big thing because there's other vices we don't participate in, but soda's one that the general population in Utah does. We took the top 3 soda places, which are Swig, Sodalicious, and Fiiz, and we're going to talk about them and dissect them and give them some ratings on how we felt about them, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, let's do it.
We also have a special guest today who is an expert on soda, which is why we decided to bring him in. And he hosts a YouTube channel called the Sunday Soda Review. Did I get that right, Joel?
Yep, you got it right.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you started with your YouTube channel.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, guys. This is real cool to be on your podcast. I'm a bit flattered that you called me a soda expert. I wouldn't consider myself a soda expert. Don't
tell our listeners that.
I'm a huge soda fan, but I really just started the YouTube channel because I've always been a fan of bottled sodas that are really unique. Like you got the mainstream Coke, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, Sprite, and those are good. But if you dig into the grocery store shelves and you kind of try some of those more unique craft sodas, you can get some pretty unique tastes, and you kind of just get addicted to them. So I thought I'd just, spread the information about it and kind of let people know what I thought about each of those. And in the process, I'm trying a lot of new sodas that I've never had the chance to try before, and kind of opening up my palate, I guess you would say, for those kind of things. And so, yeah, it's just a fun thing that I like to do, and I just wanted to share it with people online.
Cool. Great. You want to tell us some of the favorites you found so far, or maybe even not so favorite?
So I'll go over one good one that I've had and one really bad one. So the first one I did was banana soda. That one was really really good. It was really sweet. Tasted like, if you've ever had like banana Laffy Taffy, it tasted a lot like that, like in soda form. And that's my favorite flavor of Laffy Taffy is the banana flavor. So I really enjoyed that one. I gave that one a pretty good rating. And then the very next episode, I had one called Dirt Soda. And Dirt Soda was horrible.
Were you expecting anything different?
No, I mean, it's Dirt Soda. You kind of I did it just to kind of just try one that I thought was going to be very good, really. And so I popped it open, and I don't even know how to describe what it tastes. And if you watch the video, I kind of fumble around with how to describe the taste for it, but it just tasted like black licorice and caramel and just like some other weird flavors that I couldn't quite place in there. And a lot of people are telling me, wow, that sounds pretty good. I want to try it. And I'm like, trust me, you don't want to try it. My brother actually was like, hey, that sounds pretty interesting. I'm going to try it. And so I bought him one and took it over to his house and, broke social distancing and took it over there and handed it to him. And I let him try it. And he texted me and he goes, that was the worst soda I've ever had. So I think they put those out there as like, joke sodas, just novelty things.
Right.
There's other ones out there that have been, they've been bottling these things for over 100 years. So, and they've gone through prohibition and everything and developed these like root beer formulas and these cream sodas that are just perfected, And you don't get that in like Coke. You don't get that in Sprite, which is like mass produced in cans and sold all over. And so it's just really cool to explore those kind of niche soda makers out there and kind of let people know about them and just kind of give my general take on it.
So is your plan to always just do kind of unique sodas, or if like Mountain Dew, or right now Dr. Pepper has a Dr. Pepper cream soda? Are you planning on doing stuff like that, or will it always kind of stay to the unique type sodas?
I haven't really thought about it. Right now I'm probably staying to the unique ones, just the craft sodas. But so, for example, today I tried the Sprite Ginger. I don't know if you guys have seen that around.
I wanted to try it.
Yeah, I just did a quick review of that one on my Instagram channel, or on my Instagram, and I just kind of put it out there as a post, just saying, here, this is what I think of it, and a quick rating. If I come across those kind of, more mainstream sodas that are new flavors or whatever, I might just do something like that just to kind of get people interested, because that's more of a mainstream thing, and people will go, oh, hey, he's doing Sprite. Maybe I'll look at his YouTube channel and kind of check out these more handcrafted ones that are on his videos. So I think that's where I'm at now, is kind of reserve the videos for talking about the history and about the flavors of these bottled sodas. And then kind of do maybe some Instagram posts or something like that for kind of the more mainstream stuff that comes out.
Well, there's a soda, bottled one, that you can get at most grocery stores that I've seen. And the thing is kind of in the international section, and it's cola called Cocta or something like that. It's one of my favorites. So I say was one of my favorites because I'm a recovering sodaholic. So I've been 5 years sober of not having soda, or basically try not to drink carbonation anymore. So I'm very jealous.
Episode for you to do then, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, you guys are gonna make me laugh. Next thing you know, tomorrow I'm gonna be chugging down a 2-liter thing of Mountain Dew. You don't know.
No, don't do it. Nate, don't do it. You just got your chip.
But yeah, so if you want to do check out that one, that's a good one to check out. 'Cause I don't think a lot of people know about it, but I've seen it in the grocery stores quite often, and every time I see it. And another one is a Brazilian drink called Guaraná.
Oh, Guaraná is so good. I love Guaraná.
Yeah, and it's hard to.
This might get you back into drinking soda, so I apologize if it does. But there's a German company called Vocal that has a Guaraná Cola, and I am dying to try this drink. I've been looking all over online to see if anybody sells international sodas that I could get it. So you can go into places like Soda Emporium, and you can buy really rare international sodas that they kind of have on stock, and they just have like a limited number of them, and you kind of pay a lot for shipping, but you can get them that way. But I'm trying to find a way that I can go to like an international market here locally or something, maybe downtown Salt Lake, that would have some of these that I could kind of try from different countries. So yeah, I'm looking for ways to try it, but that's one that I really want to try.
Well, in the future,
that's Siegfried's. That's that German restaurant downtown. Maybe they have some connections, or they may even sell it there. Who knows?
That's literally right by my office.
I'll have to check
so
it out.
I'll check. That's good. I'll check in. So if I see any unique sodas, I'll shoot them over to you so you can.
Yeah, I would love to
out.
review them. Yeah.
I'm myself, I'm kind of back and forth. When I go to these soda places, usually I'm getting the lemonade or water alternatives if they have them, but I still venture out and have Mountain Dews and Sprites here and there, but not as much as I used to. My personal favorite, Joel, have you ever tried the Stewart's brand?
Yeah, I've had Stewart's quite a bit.
That's my favorite. I love the orange cream one.
Orange.
That just hits the spot.
Yeah, Stewart's orange cream is really good. Their cream soda's a little too sweet for me. If I were to go for a cream soda, I'd do Henry Weinhard's vanilla cream. That one is my go-to for a cream soda.
Where do you get
Um,
that one, Joel?
That one's pretty mainstream. You can find it in most grocery stores. They sell it in 6 packs of bottles, or I mean, so I'm up in Smithfield by Logan, and the Lee's here just has them in bottles. You can just buy them in the chilled section. But yeah, most grocery stores will have that one.
Okay.
So,
Let's try that one out.
Well, if you had to pick just one soda, desert island question, and you can only take one soda with you, what soda would you take with you, Joel?
one soda on an island, huh?
But you have unlimited
Unlimited
access.
supply.
Yeah, they just keep. It's on auto ship to the island. That's the only thing that comes out.
I'd probably have to pick either Dad's root beer or that Henry Weinhard's vanilla cream. Those are my two that I enjoy the most right now.
Okay.
So,
Same question to you, Brandon.
I go back to the Stewart's. I love that. Even when in the times where I've gone months and months without drinking soda, if it's just the right day, I go grab one of those.
Yeah, I'd probably have to cream soda. Probably A&W cream soda was one of my favorites. But basically, back in the day, any soda was my favorite as long as it was on sale and a lot of it. But
Definitely, we want to refer you to the Sunday Soda Review. It's a great channel. You've got like you said, a couple videos up now, but I want to applaud you for, even though when you were drinking that dirt soda, I think you took three drinks of it, even knowing how terrible it was, for the sake of the entertainment and for your show, you still powered through it. So kudos to you.
thank
were you
you.
just hoping that each sip something would have changed, or do you?
Well, maybe I was hoping in somewhere in my mind, but no, I was just trying to kind of get the flavor because I didn't know how to describe it. And like my brother actually commented the same thing. He said it was funny how you drank it and your face was horrible and then you started drinking it again. So I was just trying to nail down the flavor because I couldn't quite understand what I was tasting. It's just one of those things you have to try. So,
I don't think it's the first on my list, but maybe down the road.
I'm okay not trying it. I'll take your word for it.
yeah.
Well, let's get into it. So we have just a little introduction to each place.
All right. So Swig, they started in St. George, Utah. Their first store opened up in Dixie, right across from Dixie State, in April of 2010. And it was started by a husband and a wife. The wife, Nicole Tanner, just kind of had a business idea for a drive-through soda shop. And so her and her husband started it down there, and it's grown into, there's multiple shops across Utah and even across multiple states. So that's kind of how Swig got going.
I can't believe it took so long for this to be a business idea in Utah.
I know. Tell me about it.
It's really either Starbucks for Utah or a bar for Utah, right? Since there's not a lot of alcohol drinkers and or coffee drinkers in Utah compared to other states.
Yeah, it's blown up, really. And I guess we can say Swig was the OG of it all. They started it.
That was the first one that I noticed was Swig, but I mean, it seems like these are popping up under different names all over the place, like more and more.
And then my duty was to figure out Sodalicious. So Sodalicious, there was a guy named Kevin who sounds like he wanted to be an entrepreneur all his life, had lemonade stands growing up, and when he's elementary school, he even they did a poster or something to hang on the wall of what they wanted to be when they grew up, and he wrote entrepreneur, and his teacher was so proud that he knew how to spell entrepreneur. But he went to the University of Utah for a little bit and decided that college wasn't for him, and he moved down to Provo where he met his wife. And one night his wife said, "Hey, we should open up a flavored soda shop." So they partnered up with another couple and opened up their first shop in October of 2013, which I believe was in Provo. And since then, they've grown to 22 locations in Utah, Arizona, and Idaho. That's what I got on Sodalicious.
Then we have Fizz. From what I found, this one's I couldn't find definitively who started it. On their Facebook page, it says the general managers are Jason and Jen Anderson, and Ethan and Allison Morgan. And then the culinary team lists Ethan Morgan, so he's the one making the drinks, I guess. But they started in Bountiful in 2014, and that's interesting. I thought that Sodalicious had a bigger presence than Fizz, but from what I found on their website, Fizz has 31 locations across Utah, Idaho, Nevada, and Texas, even. A lot bigger than I thought they were.
Which is crazy just to think when did you say again Swig opened?
Swig was 2010.
So 2010. So in the last 10 years, we went from 0 shops like this to almost every city has 2 or 3 of them, right? And we're talking about the big 3. And
there's way more than that.
Yeah. So it's become a big trend.
That's interesting because I'm on Swig's website and I count 21 on there. Wow. So maybe even though they're the original ones, they don't have as big of a presence as the other guys do.
Which one today, Brandon? You went to a location today that the line was around the block?
Every one that I went to, the line was really long.
Really?
I just sent you a video of one of them.
So,
in my prep for this, I wanted to try all of them in one day. I don't know why I thought of that. It was a terrible idea.
Going to one location today was a terrible idea for me. It's a lot of sugar.
My wife, she supports our podcast and what we do, but this was the first one she was really involved and excited about because she loves to go to these places. We sometimes go on the daily. We started at Swig and we went to the one in South Jordan and it wrapped around the whole parking area in there. But it surprisingly went really fast because they had people coming out taking your order and they pumped through customers real quick. Then we went to Fizz and that line they didn't even have room for a line, but as it came out in the road, it was backing up to the intersection because people were still trying to get in there too, even though they didn't have the space for it. And then we went to Sodalicious. Similarly, you went to the one in Riverton, right, Nate?
Yeah, right by the high school.
Yeah, so we went to the one that's in Midvale, and that one, same story as Swig. It just wrapped around the whole parking area.
Well, I went to I know he said 2010 is when it started down in St. George area, but I don't know when they finally came up to Salt Lake. But it seems it's about the time I stopped drinking soda. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So that was another temptation that came, which is probably a good thing. So I'd probably be out of money if I'm still drinking soda. But so I've never been to any type of location like this before till today.
And what did you think?
Well, so because I don't drink soda anymore, there's only so much lemonade you can handle in a 5-year time period that I've always been whenever I go to a place and they do have those pumps that you can put flavoring in there, I've already been doing that. So it didn't blow my mind. I felt like it was a little overpriced for what I was getting. But I wonder and you guys will probably talk about this, but if you could drink the hard stuff, carbonated stuff, if it's a little different. But I wasn't blown away. I was like, I paid, I don't know how much it was because I got a lemonade and it had a fancy name because I just asked the guy, what's the most popular non-carbonated drink you have? And he said the Civil Marriage, which was lemonade, peach, and blue Curaçao. Is that how you say that?
I love the name of that drink, the Civil Marriage.
Civil Marriage, yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of weird. Your number's another one of the lemonades and second base. So
a lot of good names.
So it was good. And I asked for the cookie. A lot of these places sell cookies, right? And I've had the cookies before, and my wife has made the knockoff of the cookies of a lot of these places. So For a cookie and the large lemonade, it was like $5. So it's like, wasn't blown away.
How was your experience in revisiting these places, Joel?
So Swig up here in Logan, they did a pretty good job of getting me in and out. So I kind of had the same experience that you had, Brandon. Like the service was really good. I mean, I asked her what was, the most popular drink because that's what I was there to review was their best foot forward, and she gave me two different options, and I think we'll talk about those ones a little bit later, but um yeah, I felt like the price was fair for these shops. They're not overpriced, they're not underpriced compared to the other shops out there. Their selection is I mean, they have a pretty good selection. The line was really long. There was probably about, I'd say, a good dozen or so cars that kind of wrapped through the parking lot. So if any of the Sodalicious or any of the Fizz people are listening to this podcast, I think it's time to open up a shop up here in Logan because there's a lot of people that are going to Swig, and I think you guys could definitely have a market up here. Build one closer to Smithfield so my wife doesn't have to drive so far down to Nibley to get one of her sodas.
I'm going to tag them in all of our posts too, so hopefully they're listening.
There you go.
Well, the format we were thinking of doing, we're not going to crown an official winner of who we think is the best. We'll just give our own personal ratings on a couple different criteria, which will be, I think we decided the menu, which includes the funny names and unique names that they have, as well as their selection. We'll talk about their cookies, which is a big thing with these places, has already been mentioned before, and then other stuff that they have, other drink options other than just soda and lemonade and anything else that they can offer. But what we always start with, Joel, so you know, is we read a couple of reviews from Google on what people are saying about these places, some positive and some negative ones. So this first one will be about Sodalicious. It's a negative review. It got a 1 star. And this was a pretty common theme I found in reviewing all the ones for Sodalicious. Adam was saying they've posted that they close at 11 p.m. on their store in front, and on Google, I got there at 10:30, and the doors were already locked, and the employees were hanging out, chatting in the back, and just looked at me when I tried to come in. Drove all the way there for nothing. I love Sodalicious, but this isn't cool at all. I've had the same experience at Sodalicious before, where I try to go there and they're closed before they're supposed to be. So I can totally see the frustration with that and don't know why it's always been a problem.
Do you think it was just like really slow, and so the kids are like, nobody else is coming, and then they close up shop?
May have been, yeah. The next one is a positive 5-star review. Kind of a funny joke that you've already mentioned here, but they said, truly the Mormon Starbucks. This place has me and my husband hooked, especially now that they've got these refillable mugs. The variety and combinations of flavors is huge. You can even do diet products if you want to stay on the skinny side. The cookies are to die for, and the service is top notch. A little bit of paraphrasing in there, but sounds like this person is really happy with the service they've got and happy with the selection as well. Next we go to Swig. So this one's a 1-star review for Swig. It said it had good drinks and cookies. I love Swig. They are the best. My family goes all the time, and I try different drinks, so thank you for the drinks. I don't know why that got a 1 star.
1 star.
It's a tough customer, man.
I wonder what she gives 4 stars to.
Yeah, man. Actually, another positive one for them. My husband loves himself some Swig. I like it too, but only in small amounts. I'm just not always a fan of sugar drinks, but if I'm in the mood for one, I love it. I've tried another soda place like this and could never taste the flavoring in it, but at Swig, I always can. If they mess up your order, they fix it for you quickly. A common theme when I've been going through all these reviews is a lot of times they're comparing the different soda places. Like one for Swig would say, this is way better than Fizz or Sodalicious, and there's a lot of comparison going on. So it seems that people pick sides with these soda places. Have you guys noticed that at all?
So is it kind of like Coke and Pepsi or anything like that? You got to pick what team you're on.
Which that kind of strikes me as funny because really what these soda shops are doing is they're just kind of shooting flavor shots into sodas that are already there, and they're just kind of mixing it in. what I'm getting at is like maybe Sodalicious isn't doing anything completely different from Swig. They're just kind of like whichever one you've tried first or whichever one you like the most or your friends like, that's the kind of one you go to, I guess. But
And the funny thing with that is, I did the same thing that you did, Joel, and we went to each place and asked what's your most popular drink, and at least between Sodalicious and Fizz, the drinks that they recommended were almost the exact same combination, but just a different name. It is kind of what you prefer because it's what you had first, or some reason you like the logo better. I don't know what it is.
yeah, or maybe like the treats that they offer on the side or something like that, or their service, you know.
Or the way
Yeah.
they mix it. I mean, I've never had alcohol in my life, but I've seen on TV shows, and I even worked at a restaurant where they had alcohol, and people, like, wouldn't you think that they all mix the drinks the same? But people are like, oh, that's a good whatever they're having, right? So maybe
Mhm.
they're better at mixing it. Going back to this being the Utah version of a bar.
Yeah.
So we're getting at like soda connoisseurs here, huh?
Yeah, like he
Shaken, not stirred.
he makes a mean second base lemonade.
Dirty.
dirty lemonade, or what do they call it? Dirty something. Sorry,
Dirty
I don't
Dr.
know. I just
Pepper.
know
jumping the
that
gun.
put it in a dirty glass.
Is that what they mean? That's what dirty is? Oh,
I think
man.
Or
dirty glass
maybe,
is like not washed, you know. That
or they're putting your dirt soda in there. Mhm.
yeah, that
Oh.
would be a dirty glass.
So yours is like the dirt soda you drank was like a pure shot of whatever. You need to mix it with something to make it good.
That's true. Yeah, it's meant to be flavored up.
Okay, let's look at the last one. So just 2 more reviews for Fizz. I was a little confused by the negativity in this one. It says, if you want a sweet, sugar-filled drink, this place is for you. Really, the place is so good, but they featured a drink and they didn't make it right. That's super disappointing. I went in with high expectations and then shot down by a messed up drink. They already said they thought it was a good place and they recommended it to people, but giving them 1 star doesn't do that.
Yeah, that's what's hard about, you know, Google reviews is these people are usually really harsh if they get any kind of bad service or anything like that. They're not going to be very fair.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Usually, people only do reviews when they have a bad experience, right? There's not a lot of people who
And a lot
do
of times
reviews
they're
without being incentivized.
hoping that they'll reach out to them and give them free stuff, but
Yeah.
that's usually not the case from what I've seen. Not that I do that purposely to give bad reviews to get free stuff, but
Yeah, we know what you're doing, Brandon. Come on.
all right. All right, caught me red-handed. Okay, last one. So this one's positive, 5-star review for Fizz. These drinks are not good for you whatsoever, but they taste so good. They say the Captain Jack Sparrow all the way, and the Chandler Bing when you really need it. Beware your child's refuse will be bright blue if you get one of those neon blue sugar drinks.
So I got to give a shout out to the Chandler Bing. We used to live right by a Fizz. Well, actually, I worked by a Fizz, and so on the way home, I would pick up drinks for me and my wife every now and then. And the Chandler Bing was the one I would always get at Fizz. I would recommend that one, and anybody who's a Mountain Dew fan, that one is really good.
So, what is the mixture?
Coconut, pineapple, and strawberry, and the base is Mountain Dew.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one. I'd recommend it, Nate. You can go substitute it for lemonade. I just don't think it's going to have the same effect.
yeah. Like I said, lemonade. You can only have so much. But when you asked, that's the one they said was most popular.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think it's going to vary by who's at the register. They don't have a list of what's the top one, but just based off of what they see ordered the most. I mean, they're making the drink, so they know what they're making all the time and what they've already memorized. So that was what was recommended to us.
and I wonder too, if you went to every location and asked what's most popular, would you get a different answer, or how often would you get the same answer?
They might even be
So-
telling you the most popular one is the easiest one to make. There's got to be some bias in that too.
That's true, because my son was just watching a YouTube channel about a kid talking that he worked at Subway, and when anyone would ask what cheese was the best, he'd always say, I think it was Swiss, because it's the easiest to peel apart. So, and if you ever asked him what to put on it, he'd just do whatever's the easiest. You probably get that a lot in stuff like this. Whatever's the easiest to make.
I did like all the drinks that were recommended me today, though. So at least there's some truth to it. whether it was the easiest thing, and that's why everybody keeps getting it, because that's what they're always recommended to get. They weren't bad drinks. So let's go into the rankings. Let's start with Swig.
So Swig had a pretty good menu as far as the side items go. I mean, they've got like refreshers, which are sugar-free. It's like sparkling water with some fruit in there. So think of like, like a LaCroix soda or something like that. Those are actually pretty good if you can get over the bitterness of it. And if you're kind of more on the health conscious side, that might be one you want to try. A lot lower calories. They have like Reviver energy drinks. I didn't try those. I'm not a energy drink kind of guy just because of the caffeine content. I don't like to get too much of that. They also have those in like a blended form, so like a smoothie that's also an energy drink, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then I've been hearing a lot of good things about their cookies. They have sugar cookies, oatmeal, coconut, chocolate chip, peanut butter, and they have Dirt Ball, which is like a chocolate cookie with chocolate frosting. Then they have like a Social, which is like a small sugar cookie, kind of a smaller portion with frosting on top. And they also offer like hot chocolate, which kind of has a couple of different mix-ins that they do, which I thought was kind of cool. So it's not just sodas, but they do it with hot drinks too. They do bobas. Then they have kids drinks, and I've always enjoyed the kids drinks at these places. They put like sometimes little fun gummies on there, and
Yeah.
we used to go to a shop that was down by my last house down in Eagle Mountain, and they had my kids would always like to get the ones that have the little shark gummies in there. I don't remember the name of the drink, but it was really a hit with the kids. So as far as their main menu goes, though, like they didn't have much beyond Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew. They had a total of, let's see, there's 4, 6, so there's about 16 drinks total. 6 of them are Dr. Pepper flavors, and 4 of them are Mountain Dew. And then you have
Wow.
1 Coke, 1 Sprite, 1 ginger ale, 1 lemonade, and 1 Diet Coke. So if you don't like Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew, you're going to have a pretty limited selection unless you want to kind of stray out and make your own drink, which can always kind of be, scary territory if you don't know what you're doing. You can get some flavors that just don't really jive. So they didn't have any sugar-free options that I saw of their big drinks. They might offer, the diet versions. They have obviously the Diet Coke options, but I didn't see like Diet Dr. Pepper or Diet Mountain Dew or Diet Sprite or even the zero options of those. And so that was kind of disappointing if it's somebody who didn't want to have a lot of carbs or something, but still wanted to enjoy the flavor. They didn't have much to go off of except for maybe a Diet Coke or a Diet, or maybe like, one of the sparkling water answers to that. So their menu, so as far as their main drinks, I wouldn't say it's for everybody. I would say it's a little lacking. And if you're not a fan of Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew, you should probably look someplace else. I think Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew are probably their most popular drinks, so they've kind of narrowed it down to just selling those with a couple of other side options, but I wasn't really super impressed with that.
They used to have a more complex menu. They had a lot more options and even a lot of more fun names. They've really minimalized it. It seems like they've kind of gone away from all these different recommendations, and it can be overwhelming when you go and see a big menu. And so they've made it, I think, a little more simple to find those ones that really people wanted the most. And so they've made it more easy in that regard. But I think they are sacrificing people that are wanting to branch out and have different kinds of drinks. Your options that they're giving you are kind of limited.
Yeah. And so like back on caffeine, like I'm trying to stay away from caffeine as much as I can just from health reasons. And so almost all of those drinks on that menu are going to have some kind of caffeine in it. And so I always try to like look for a Sprite type drink or a root beer or a ginger ale or something like that. And unfortunately on this menu, there's only 2 options, maybe 3 options if I want to do the lemonade that are there that I would do if I wasn't in a mood to drink any caffeine or if I was trying to stay away from it. Yeah, we had really good side options and cookies and refreshers and all that, but the main menu, which is what you're going there for, to me had a lot of holes in it and it didn't have everything that I wanted.
Okay, well, tell us about Sodalicious. What did you think?
It looked like the location I went to, like it could have been an old drive-through coffee shop. They did have a spot where you could walk up to it, and I did originally. I walked up, but there was no sign saying I couldn't walk up to the window, but nobody came to help me. So I figured I better get my car and go through the drive-through. But just looking at the menu, they had a lot of options. One I thought was interesting. They had horchata as one of their options, and it came with Dr. Pepper and horchata. Sounds like I love horchata, but I don't know if it really mixes with Dr. Pepper. I could be wrong.
I've tried it and it does
not work.
At least in my opinion.
But they also do the hot chocolate, like Joel mentioned, and they also have on their menu. It's called a skinny menu, where you can get everything either like sugar-free, like the lemonade. The lemonade I had there, it was just the straight lemonade. So with the lemonade and the added sugar flavoring they put in there, it was just a lot of sugar. Definitely a sugar bomb. So next time if I do go, I'll probably try the light lemonade from the skinny menu. And then Joel also mentioned that he wanted caffeine-free, and they have a caffeine-free section as well. They have caffeine-free Diet Coke. But yeah, overall the menu, it seemed kind of unique and kind of cool.
They really pride themselves on scandalous names for their drink options.
I gotta plug their names for a second here. Like they've got some pretty cool names, like the Confession, $1,000,000, I Love Lucy, Rocky Mountain High. I mean, some of these names are pretty awesome compared to what Swig had.
I like doing though. That's what she's having because it's just funny to say to the person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my other thought I had too. I'm glad you brought that back up, Joel. It was just the names were funny. Like I mentioned before, the lemonade, the second base, or what Brandon did you just say that what she's having?
Mm-hmm.
The Shirley Temple, stuff like that. It was the Confession.
Yeah.
But a lot of unique names, so it was kind of fun.
And they're based out of Provo, right? That's where they started. So they have local band names for their drinks, which I think is cool. Like they have national parks and they have Foreign Figures is what it is. And I don't know about your feelings on this, Joel, but Nate and I are both avid BYU fans, and they have.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, they have the Cougar is one of their drinks as well.
Oh, they gotta have a Utah shop with some University of Utah names. That's what they need next.
That's okay.
Number.
I think that's the biggest thing that I like about Sodalicious is their names. They're funny and they're unique.
I think my favorite one on there has got to be the Second Wife. That's an awesome name for a drink.
So I did not know this till I was scrolling through, and I just didn't catch it because they have a drink base called Orange. But the orange base is Orange Bang, which is definitely one of my all-time favorite drinks. And the best part is it's not carbonated, so I can drink all I want. But
that's what I thought you were going to get originally, so I was surprised when you told me.
I didn't. I just thought when I saw orange on there that they meant like orange soda. So, and they have one called the Bronco. My son's named the Bronco, but it's orange soda. Sorry, can't do that.
You could substitute it for Orange Bang.
Orange Bang. I don't know. Orange Bang cheesecake. I don't know. That's a lot of sugar. But Orange Bang, definitely love my Orange Bang. I even have an Orange Bang machine, a bubbler. I think it's more of I don't even know the word to say it. Date night type thing, like something fun to go do. If we were just hanging out and we wanted to go there, I would do it, but I wouldn't go there by myself again just to get a drink. If I was going to get a drink, I would just go over to Maverick across the street. One
thing my wife really likes about it is they also have popcorn on the menu, which is different. I think they have it as well at Fizz, but they have pretty good popcorn at Sodalicious. So I had Fizz, which what I will say about them is I think their menu is overwhelming. They have way too many options on there.
Yeah, it is. I agree. It's a little overwhelming. It's hard to kind of pinpoint where to look and what you want to narrow down on. That's why, like, when I went there, I basically just asked them, what do you sell the most? Because I had no idea what to order.
And on top of that, they have huge menu when you pull up. But I even found a secret menu that they have. So if they thought they didn't have enough drinks, they blew it out of the park with them. They do have interesting names as well. I wouldn't say they're as on point as Sodalicious, but some of my favorites were Threat Level Midnight because I'm a big Office fan. The Chandler Bing, which is great as well.
Fat guy in a little Coke.
Fat Guy in a Little Coke. Yeah, I had that one on here. Jamaican Me Crazy. So they have good names as well, just not quite to the level of Sodalicious. One of the reason I go to Fizz the most though, well, it's the closest one to where I live, but they also, if you're trying to be a little more health conscious, they have water and a lot of lemonade options, and they're actually really good. It's not same as like a LaCroix. They put in enough flavoring. They put in some purees in them, so you're getting a unique drink experience, but it's not a heavy type drink that you're having. So I think for you, Nate, Fizz is a better option because they have more to offer to someone like you.
Yeah, I'll definitely need to go check out Fizz. So my daughter brought home one day a 10 punch card pass to Swig, and we haven't used it yet. We had it for like a year. We still haven't used it one punch yet. So we have 10 free drinks to Swig. So I'll probably be checking that out in the near future. But Fizz is pretty close to
it is close
where we live.
Fizz is it is overwhelming. Even with their other things, they have a lot of cookie options, and they also have like a Dippin' Dots type thing. They have macaroons, also have popcorn and pretzels. I think what Fizz could do better is just simplifying things. It's great that they have all those concoctions they've had. I think they should take a majority of them off the main menu so people have a little bit cleaner thing to look at. And if they, take those things away and they still really liked a combination, they have this huge secret menu with all this other stuff that they can go and look at and recall their favorites, and they're still going to be trained inside to know what to make, but it's just a little much.
Yes, it looks like Fizz is kind of like, well, I'll do this just in case somebody wants this.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I guess that was the one thing that was nice about Swig pulling up. I mean, I know I complained about it when I was reviewing it, but it was nice not to be assaulted with all these flavors of drinks, and to be able to just kind of say, this is what we got, this is our best stuff, and pick from one of these. One thing that, though, I forgot to mention when I was talking about the drink that I had there, I asked them just to give me the best drink that they sold the most, and it was one of those Dr. Peppers.
Mhm.
And it was called the Texas Tab. I don't know if you guys have ever had that one before at Swig.
That's one my wife had today.
Yeah, and I was really surprised that they gave me that one as their most popular drink because it was not very good.
Underwhelming.
Yeah, underwhelming for sure. I mean, they put cream in a lot of their drinks, and I noticed that cream really just kind of deadens the sweetness of a soda, and it really kind of deadens the carbonation, which is one of the best parts of drinking a soda, is that fizz. And so they put cream in probably like half their menu, and so it was pretty interesting. I don't know if the other guys did that. I remember Sodalicious having kind of a lot more Mountain Dew options that didn't have any cream, but I've only been to Sodalicious maybe once or twice, and the Chandler Bing is what I've had all the time at Fizz, and that one was really good. But again, I don't remember much cream in any of the Fizz stuff, but Swig seemed to really lean heavily on the cream in some of their stuff. Definitely not a place you want to go if you're being health conscious for sure, but you know.
So it's hard to really say if we all had different experiences in different places. We can't really crown a winner. We can say each place has their individual. They've got something that they do well, and that could be why people keep going to them. If they go to Sodalicious because they like the funny names, they go to Swig because of how simple it is, or they go to Fizz because they have all the options they could ever want. We want to leave it up to our listeners to tell us who's the best. We're going to put a poll up on our social media to see what everyone thinks, and we're also going to incentivize with a gift card. So watch for that. But I want to throw it back to Joel once again. In your research of all these places, if you found any super weird combinations that was really unique that you wanted to try or you considered trying in the future for even one of your reviews?
So yeah, the one that I wanted to try from Swig, and I'm just gonna do Swig because that was the local one here. There's a Fizz in Brigham, and there's the nearest Sodalicious is down in Murray. So that's kind of, you know, out of my driving range to get one of those. But on Swig's menu, they have one called the Daydreamer, and it's ginger ale with pomegranate, cranberry, and fresh lemon. So ginger ale goes really well with a lot of these kind of syrups, whereas some of these other ones like Dr. Pepper, Coke, Dr. Pepper already has so many flavors going on inside of it that when you shoot it with another kind of flavor, it just gets really confusing. So the Daydreamer was one that I really wanted to try, and I think I'm probably going to go back and do a review, maybe not on a YouTube video, maybe just like an Instagram thing or something on a Daydreamer, because that one to me sounds like something you would do with like an alcoholic drink, like a cocktail or something, but with a ginger ale instead of alcohol. So I think I'm going to give that one a shot. And that's just the general thing I found with a lot of these soda shops is they're taking, like I said, drinks that are already been formulated and so complicated, and they're trying to add more into it. But if you go with like Sprite or ginger ale or something that's more of kind of just like a pure flavor, I guess, kind of like a lemon lime, or in the case of a ginger ale, like a ginger flavor, it really complements it when you put in something like a cranberry, or you put in like, raspberry puree or lime or something like that. You can really kind of bring the flavor up rather than kind of deadening it. So
yeah, the one I had from Swig was that they recommended the Riptide, which was a Sprite and cranberry, and I can't remember. Let me look at what else it had in it.
I've got it right here. It's got Sprite, cranberry, raspberry puree, and fresh lime.
Yeah, I'm not even a cranberry fan, but the mixture of everything, it really came together well, and I was quite surprised that I liked it a lot. Both my wife and I really enjoyed that one, and out of all the ones we had today, that was our favorite. But I think that about does it for us. Thanks again for coming on to our podcast today, Joel. We really enjoyed having you and getting your take on the soda shops of Utah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me, guys.
And
Yeah.
then, like Brandon mentioned, let us know, those listeners are still listening. Let us know which place you like the best, and if there's something outside of the three that we covered that you think is even better than these top three, let us know. And then Joel, every Sunday your YouTube channel is going to have a new video.
Yeah, so Sundays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I put up a new soda review on a new crafted bottled soda. So this week we're going to be doing Bug Barf.
Say that again.
It's going to be Bug Barf. It's
Bug?
Yeah, it's a kiwi pineapple soda from a company called Avery's, and it's actually pretty good. It's it's kind of a tangy fruit soda, but if you're into that, it goes down well. And then we're going to be filming a couple new ones tomorrow that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks too. So yeah, definitely go check it out.
Go back and watch that video and all of his other videos. I will say they're a lot shorter than our recent episodes have been, so that's a positive. But if you've stuck around, we're grateful for the listeners we have, and that you've been following us through everything. And let us know what more we can do, what places you want us to visit. Thanks for listening to the This Is a Place podcast. Bye.